And welcome everybody to the final match of week 4. We have the Lunar Colony Lumalees versus the Richfield Ratch. I am your caster Aurora, and joining me is Ninja Drew on Prod. Good to start off this week on Ilios, a match that we've seen played a lot. We're going to Ruins first, and I think between both these teams are both teams that have a lot to prove. We have the Lumalees, who were slated to be fairly high throughout the season, but after a brutal loss in the previous week, sort of now need to prove themselves as a top contending team. Now the Richfield Rats, on the other hand, more of a friend team, but they've shown that they can fight with the best. They took down the Copenhagen Corsairs week 1, but after that it has just been downhill. So a lot on stake for both these teams as they enter their week 4 match, the final match of week 4. Get to analyze these comps a bit, see exactly how each team plays. Looks like we're going to be having Nort on the Diva versus Nathan on the Junker Queen. In terms of synergy of the comp, it feels like the JQ Rush comp has a little bit more, but the heal potential that Teddy, M, and Allegro can bring on the support line may be a bit troubling as the fight is breaking out. Nathan investing that shout inwards, looking for the early damage, looking to catch out Nort Logic, and Nort is dropping dangerously low, but it's actually Fedora who gets the first kill down onto Firecarter. Nort with some crazy moves out towards this health pack, making an epic play to just control the point. And Nathan and his team of Lumalees now have to drop back, reset with Firecarter down. Can't really hit the go, but Sardrone, very quick to respawn, very quick to get back into the fight as another one's going to break out. Nathan's going to be the first one to strike here. Looking early with the help of his team. Flawless and Firecarter doing their best to put down pressure. The Suzu has to come out to keep Nathan's life in this fight. Flawless with a deflect, trying to zone some space towards the point. And now Lumalees have taken control out towards this point. Nathan's getting extremely close to this rampage, but Frosty's actually going to be the first one to fall. The DPS on the side of the Richfield Rats are coming up massive. But despite that, Nathan's still going to invest in the rampage. Not really going to be able to find anything from it, though, as Nort Logic gets shut down towards the point. And eventually Nathan will fall as well. So a bit scrappy gameplay and ult invested for the Lumalees, but nothing that comes of it. Now, Lumalees are forced to do a recontest with no ultimates online. Looking into a Molten Core, a Kitsune Rush. Either of these ults can be popped fairly quickly to get an early fight advantage. I'm really looking towards Firecarter here to be the difference maker, charging up that rail shot, looking for a big one that could connect, potentially get the overclock online. But it's nor these moves who have just been so evasive, really giving Fedora Master the green light to send down the aggression, send down the Molten Core, open up some space towards the top left side of the point. And it feels like the advantage, the kills, everything is just falling in favor of the Richfield Rats. Now with little ults online, Flawless hasn't even built up the blade. Frosty hasn't even built up the beat. They've been down for too long, and Teddy M with some aggression of his own, able to take down Firecarter, flip-flop with her ultimate as well, gonna be able to find another one, and the Lunar Colony Lumalees aren't even able to touch this point as a massive shutdown comes in from the Richfield Rats. Definitely not the way I expected this map to be going, but it is the trend that has been followed. So now I want to see any switches coming in for the Lumalees. Looks like the Richfield Rats are going to keep this same composition. It's been working out fairly well for them. I like to swap over onto the Winston and the Tracer. They're going to put down a little bit more pressure onto the backline, specifically Allegro in this case, who is getting away with, first off, not dying, and secondly, with immense healing onto the rest of his team. So we'll see if these adaptations from the Lumalees are going to come to fruition, but I'm always wary whenever I see the Winston into the Diva. The bubble is just so breakable into a composition like this. This looks like the Lumalees are going to be staging out towards the outside of the point, just looking to take the high ground, but they're allowing the Richfield Rats to just garner this point for free. They have control of this entire low ground, and Fedora Master even allowed to get set up Unfortunately, the turret gets broken out, and Fedora's going to pay for that with his life, but the points is initially going to go in the favor of the Rats. The fight is to their disadvantage right now, but with all 4 people on point, this is not going to be an easy defense to really break down. North's doing such a good job of just controlling this positioning out towards the point. It's so that nobody can really even press in. Frosty has to land a big ante for the green light to really come through, and Nathan's actually picked out in this time. Now Fedora's back on the point, has the turret set up around the large white building towards the right side, and they're forcing back. They have Nathan now on the back foot. So now looking for a little bit more of a different recon test this time, but Nort's really able to greet Lumalees up on this high ground. Bubble is forced in a fairly disadvantageous position for the Lumalees, and they haven't really dealt with the positioning of Fedora Master on the outside of point. Everything's just going well for the Richfield Rats. There's nothing really coming to fruition, but a good anti-nade comes in, but nothing comes of it. I mean, Fedora and Flip Flop just so good at this denial towards point. Flawless again with a pick of his own, but it's not really coming to anything as he's hunting, but can't find anything. Dino falls as well, and we're already entering last fight territory. 3 ultimates online, almost 4 for the side of Richfield, but only the Nano to speak of may be able to build the primal range in time. Sure, you can combo those ultimates, but when you have such good zoning ultimates in the bomb, in the Deadeye, or the Deadeye, you can do so much, really. Nathan's gonna get nanoed on the way in. The high noon invested from Flip Flop right on the point. Duplicate coming in from Firecarter as well. Primal Rage towards the point. Firecarter is instantly out of the mech from the duplication, but Frosty is actually gonna be the one who finds the first kill from this high ground. Somebody has to disrupt this positioning as Frosty finds 3. I don't even know how he's doing that. Nort still dancing on the point, standing at 99%. This is gonna be a lost fight, but this is mostly just gonna be to build up ult charges. Eventually gonna jump out of the mech, and Lunar Colony Lumalees get not just their first points on the board for this specific point, but this specific map. And it came at the exact right time that they needed it. The ultimate economy is now actually going in the Lumalees' favor as well. Only the Molten Core to speak of from Fedora Master. I'd love to see them hold on to these ultimates for a bit, let them recharge a few, get a good ult cycle going, and then be able to invest when the Lumalees are down. We'll have to see exactly how they're used. The Simply Dinos is going to press the key on the rush, but the rush, or the Kitsune Rush, doesn't actually find much value as the turret is enough to deny the positioning from Flawless. I really love the preparation that the Richfield Rats 2 have gone through. They feel like they know exactly how to counter this team, and the core on the point might just be what seals it here. Yes, no touch on the side of the Lunar Colony Lumalees as Richfield Rats 2 managed to take the first map. And my gosh, that was, if you looked at me at the start of this game, I was purely favoring the Lumalees. They have the better record. They have the, in my opinion, harder schedule up until this point. And barring these heroics from Frosty, which I called out as extraordinary, I never felt like it was going in the favor of the Lumalees at all. So we'll have to see what adaptations they make as we go on to the next hybrid map. Speaking of that hybrid map, let's actually see which maps are in the pool. It looks like the choices will be Midtown, Eigenwald, Numbani, and Parisio. So the Lumalees get their choice of map, while the Richfield Rats will get to choose side where it matters. I feel like that a side discussion is always a confusing discussion to have, you know? Like, sure, on attack you can like set the tempo and then you can choose like whether or not you want to defend, but I feel like defense is just like the more sustainable way to start out because your composition there, in my opinion, is more set in stone. But that's just me. That's just your silver talk from war certified silver talk. I don't know. You want, in my opinion, you want to try to force a map where Fedora seems limited and is put into an awkward position. I would honestly argue to obtain something like that, I would love to see maybe a Parisio. I don't know. All these maps are very Torb favored in my opinion. Maybe Numbani, honestly, just to like deny. Like I feel like the dive of the Lumalees have looked good throughout this season, but it feels like specifically this week, like with the Eigenwald, like Torb works really well. Midtown, I think Torb works decently well. So many spots to like set up your turret. Parisio, it looks amazing. So we'll have to wait and see. We also have two players on the bench potentially that could be subbed in. Rusty Goomba, the team captain for the Richfield Rats, and then EJ on the side of the Lumalees. But obviously a long discussion being had from the Lumalees to see exactly how they want to approach this fight. I have a quick shout out to Richfield Rats for also having the same endorsement level. Fun fact, they're all 3 endorsement. Does that mean they're toxic? Does that mean they're PMA? Who knows? I guess we'll have to see if how many of them say GG's in the chat after they eventually win or lose this map. Or this match, I should say. Yeah, but we're still waiting on the picks. But thinking back towards Ilios, I felt like it was just a complete stifle of all of the Lumalees strategies. I think that general just being overwhelmed, being surrounded on all fronts, they really need a way to like force off the point. And I think that has to come from a big like anti-nade or like a coordinated aggression. And it felt like they never really had that on the point. So it's very, very oppressive defense, I'd say, from the Rats. So I'd be really scared going up against them, like choosing to attack first into them when their defense is, in my opinion, extraordinarily formidable at this point in time. There was some promise in this. Like, Flawless looked very good on the Tracer, but a Tracer into Torb can sometimes feel extraordinarily oppressive. And then Nathan on the Monkey was obviously trying to create space towards point, but it felt like his teammates like were never able to like really capitalize on it. So I don't know. I'd love to see them try to take an approach that maybe a little bit more unconventional for their team, but gives them a lot more confidence in the long term. Maybe like a Zarya to counter out the Diva from Nort or something along those lines. Man, it is really hard to stall cast when there's like nothing to talk about. They know that I'm just waiting on them giving me like a map. Yeah. So it looks like we are gonna send ourselves to a break. We'll see what the Lumalees are gonna be cooking up as we are heading on to a break. So we'll be right back with some more Aurora Esports action. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for all the props in chat. I'm now have the chat tuned on and love all the love that you guys are sending. But the real love should be going to these teams as we do see a few composition switches up and the new map coming in, Nathan's going to opt to send the Lumalees, or actually send the Rats against the Lumalees to Numbani. And we now have Fire Carter in onto the tank. Nathan's going to hop over onto DPS, and EJ will be playing out the support. Now, the Rats are going to sub in Rusty Goomba on the tank and move Nort over onto DPS. So, fairly conventional swaps for both these teams, but as the Lumalees recently, or at least a week ago, made this trade for Simply Dino, they definitely have some new lineups that they have to get used to. So very excited to see the action come into fruition on both sides, as we're going to be going into Numbani. And I think the Fire Carter swap on tank is specifically going to be good. Obviously, Rusty's also taking over the tank role for the Rats, but I think a different tank mirror is exactly what the Lumalees specifically need to really kick into high gear. I'm interested to see what the DPS duo of Fedora and Nort are going to cook up, specifically on Numbani, because I'd argue that of the 4 maps, Numbani is going to be the least favored for the Torbjorn. And not too sure of the Nort Logic DPS pool, but he's been one to prove me wrong many a times. He put up an absolutely banger performance on first, as we may be having a co-caster joining us very, very shortly.
Hello.
Welcome, Muffin. I'll keep yapping until you get in here, but we do have the Richfield Rats starting out on attack, with the Lunar Colony Lumalees starting out on defense. And now we see Fire Carter instantly opting over to the Diva character. They do not want to fall victim to another Diva where the Lumalees is opting over to the Diva character. And it looks like Rusty's also going to switch onto the Diva. I'd like this sort of mirrored composition. I'm wondering how much value that Fedora Master is going to get on the Torbjorn here. Obviously on the attacking side, so the turret setups, they sort of have to play a little bit slower, where Lumalees are going to be playing for those big nades on the side of Frosty, who's really popping off on this first map.
Yeah, from what I can see, it's gonna be kind of a hot fight happening here. It's gonna be a lot of just bullets flaring around, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Fire Carter is doing a really good job of holding this choke down. The fact is that they have not been able to disrupt the backline of the Lumalees, so Frosty, EJ, and the rest of the team have just been really able to sit there uncontested. And the moment that Rusty Goomba jumps in, Nort Logic is going to be the one to pay for it by the hand of Nathan. So the side of the Richfield Rats are basically stifled inwards on this choke, forced to wait for the Nort Logic respawn. Fedora attempting to throw the turret out and actually gets it into a very oppressive position here. Frosty's been dropped down onto the low ground and hasn't really been given a chance to reset. And Allegro already has the window, so the first ultimate is already coming online. A few counter ultimates may be looked at. Flawless looks for the flank around the corner, trying to pressure out Fedora, but it's this really slow approach that is coming into the favor. Now Fedora's dropping down the Morton core, trying to push down the aggression, but Fire Carter gets the nano and initially gets the pick onto Fedora. Good ult to try to win this fight over. Now Nathan comes in with the blade, a second ultimate to try and halt the progression of the Richfield Rats, and that was a very good one. 2 ults used on both sides, but the Lumalees come out on top.
Yeah, what we're seeing is we're gonna have kind of some Diva bombs going to be heading out kind of in the next couple of fights, as well as kind of just like some like 2 support ults up.
Oh, the early Diva Bomb comes in, but all that's going to catches the shield of EJ and a bit of space for the corresponding Richfield Rats on the high ground. But Firecarter's been doing an amazing job of dealing with that. Teddy M and Rusty, again, looking at the back line of the Lumalees, but still unable to find anything. And Firecard is going to be that stifling force. Lamps invested, but it's going to be a little bit too late to save Fedora's life there. Firecard actually going in, catches Allegro as well, and able to escape with their life in the fight. It's now Nathan dancing up towards the outside of the point, forcing Rusty back down, and it seems like another fight win on the side of the Lumalees as they do manage to catch a DMAC onto Rusty, which will halt a lot of the progression.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been a very fierce kind of defending this point right now. Kind of going standard in the positioning, but really well done doing it. The Lumalees have. Yeah.
Yeah, but multiple big ultimates coming online for either side. Allegro already has this second window of the map, which is fairly insane, but dealing a lot of healing as counter to the damage. Rusty Goomba now over onto the Sigma, doing a lot more, but an amazing anti comes in from Frosty, and Nathan's just gonna go in to capitalize on that. A nano gets invested as well, and North's trying to save the fight, but a rally to sort of deny that. And Frosty hits the anti, which completely disables Nort on towards the point. This is last fight territory. Bomb comes in. That's going to catch Rusty, take their life away. Firecard gets shredded out in the process, so no tank fight. And it's just going to be the supports on the side of the Richfield Rats trying to fight for this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going insane right now.
Lamp invested towards the point, but EJ is going to be able to clean that up with the help of the flawless visor. And Firecard is back now. Gotta think that this is a losing fight for the side of the Richfield Rats, and that's exactly what it's gonna be. Rusty Goomba with the Doomfist touch to try to change everything, but the team kill is gonna be all she wrote on the attack side for the Richfield Rats.
Oh my.
Score 0-0. Switching sides.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if
Initiating.
there's any defensive switches. If there's one thing we know from Ilios, I know Muffin, you may not have been there for that, but the defense of the Richfield Rats have been looking fairly formidable. Do you think we're gonna be able to see our first draw potentially?
Yeah, let's get. I'm betting on drawable. You know,
Yeah.
I could see Fedora playing top. I know. Hard pick. Rusty could be on Diva. We could see Not on kind of Genji and like just like the same type of thing. Ooh, we got actually the Winston. Woo, double Winston. We absolutely stellar.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, just wonder, like, why both teams swapped over to the Winston. I do like the Nord on Bastion, though, a bit more of a comfort pick. He was putting in work on the Genji, especially with those dives, too, but I think the Bastion is a little bit more sustainable for the defense. It's so hard to play Winston, in my opinion, into a composition that has a turret, a Fedora Master, and then a turret form from Nort Logic. So we'll have to see how the Lunar Colony Lumalees really want to approach this fight.
Attackers incoming.
Uh.
Defend objective A.
Absolutely. I wonder, like, what's the overall plan of dealing with kind of the aggressive, like, high ground, kind of cop they have, kind of that really big force damage, people do because of the Bastion. So, yeah.
Yeah, we do have Flawless on the Sombra, which is, in my opinion, a very interesting choice here. Obviously, I didn't know that the Winston was going to be played by Rusty, but it's kind of hard to find that value. Very nice anti-nade, but instantly gets cleansed and immorted.
Yeah. Also seeing kind of a 3-2 split on kind of the two high grounds. Kind of both teams have someone to protect each support, which is really funny, and we're gonna see Firecard getting really low and shredded. Yeah.
Firecard is just in pain right now, in my opinion. Like, having to dive either a Bastion or
No,
a Torbjorn
no.
who's in a position set up between a Bastion and a turret. It's just brutal out here. So I might want to see a swap after he gets Primal, but a few ultimates online early. Rusty Goomba has his Primal to invest into this fight.
Yeah. Oh man, but we're all seeing that Helpful Fall Cutter is getting shredded because of Hello Legwo goes down. We're seeing Fedora kind of try to take out the Sombra, and we're seeing Winston just go in. Helpful Rusty dies to the anti. So it's gonna be a 3 on 2 thing on a support. It's gonna be a 3 on 5. Things are looking a bit rough by the thing. And Teddy has to, someone has to touch. Legwo does touch, Helpful thing. Rusty does go in, Helpful none of the ults will manage to use. It's just Rusty frantically jumping on point. And it will be, I think.
Yeah, it will be a victory for the Lumalees on Numbani. It did look a little bit rough at the start there, but the moment they built up some ults, they were able to control. A second play of the game from Frosty, by the way.
Yep. Yeah. Oh damn.
Jeez. I wish I could play Ana like that.
Damn. Oh, and we'll come and gonna have a break right for until next match.
Yeah, we can go to a quick map break between. We do know that the next map is gonna be New Queen Street, so we're gonna have to see exactly what swaps these players make after a quick break. We'll be right back.
Well, yeah. So do I do play-by-play?
And welcome back, everybody, to the Lunar Colony Lumalees versus the Richfield Rats 2. We got myself, War, and MuffinLumps on the broadcast today. And the scoreline tied up 1-1 on both sides. Muffin, what are your thoughts been on these teams so far?
What I can see is there was kind of like a very dive heavy that last map, and it seems to be like the bread of the Lumalees is kind of just to jump on people. Well, kind of you're seeing more kind of that defensive type coming out from the Rat, kind of more kind of playback, just fire at them, which is really interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how the Rats are going to look now on this new composition, because they have Flip-Flop back in on the Cassidy, they have Fedora in on the Torbjorn, and Nort on the Junker Queen, so definitely feeling a lot more comfortable on this look. Looks like the Lunar Colony Lumalees are sticking to what worked on the previous map as well. Firecarter in on tank as the fight is breaking out.
Yeah, we're gonna see that 3-2 split coming out by the things with Teddy M, I think. And we're gonna see Fedora just get absolutely just 1-2-0 to 300. As we're gonna see North Justin's kind of the side, and we'll see Nathan kind of on the flawless on the low ground, just kind of shooting. We're gonna see North actually getting focused on and dies, as we see Allegro and Flip-Flop trying to leave, as well as Teddy M just trying to get out of there. The fight has been lost, and yeah. And now we're just seeing kind of how much they're gonna push in right now, which they're just gonna push to the point, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they should be able to regain a bit of a solid lead here, especially with all the staggers they got on the support line of the Richfield Rats. You talked a little bit about that 3-2 split we see. I think Fedora went in a little bit too aggressive with Teddy M, got punished for it. I mean, there's still so much utility on the other side, and Fedora was just forced to go straight into it. Firecarter just diving back as Fedora's actually going to be the first one to find a pick here.
Fantastic. As we're going to see kind of the anti come out, how it gets cleansed. We're going to see not get Frosty, how Fedora dies to Nathan. We're going to see a thing, and bomb is popped out. It blows up, doesn't get anyone. Lamp is right now thing. Flawless is on that off angle. Nathan goes in with the blade, gets the block on the thing, and slay him. Flip flop. We're gonna see kind of Allegro and Teddy M, and no, the only ones left. As we're gonna see Flawless punch Allegro. We're gonna see Firecarter keep on going in. As kind of just not on the point. Endo's a rally. This is not looking rough. This is looking rough.
Yeah, they're looking very rough, but on the side of the Richfield Rats, I gotta commend their ult use. I gotta commend their ability to not use ults on that fight. I think that the Lunar and Lumalees definitely overused. Sure, Firecard is already 60% back, but they used the bomb, the rally, and the blade all in the same fight, and it didn't really find much of anything other than the fight win. So now I'm really looking for the Richfield Rats for a big recontest here. They need to drop down ultimate
get
soon.
shredded before the fight even starts. Shuffle Flawless does also die before. So it's a 4-on-4 tank versus DPS, and we're gonna see kind of still no ults being used. As Fedora just kind of shoots out the things. We're gonna see High Noon by Flip Flop, however it gets swept by Frosty. As we're gonna see Fedora just try to stay on point, make it so it doesn't go any further. As bomb goes out, and this is gonna look rough. The bomb gets nothing. Have a no with a big ult. 4 people just goes and runs through. Boom.
Yeah, I was before this fight gonna say that I was commending the Rats for their ability to not use ultimates, but the fact that they had 5 ults for so long and Nort went in a bit too deep 2 fights before this really set them at a disadvantage and allowed Lunar and Lumalees to get their ultimates back as they look to re-aggress in with multiple ults
So
online.
we're gonna see the thing. Flawless with the nano virus. He's shooting it off. We're gonna see some lava going out. As kind of Allegro is kind of getting thing, and we're gonna see just one-on-one. Not going in. Thing. It's just one person thing, and Flawless gets a lot of people there. Well,
Yeah,
he got
Flawless
the last shoots.
looking great with that nano visor. I think that was an amazing ult investment. Now Nort's going to be forced over onto the Diva, trying to deal a lot more with the suppressive firepower of Flawless. And now Fedora's also over onto the Storage Drone. First time he's been forced to switch off of the Torbjorn this map, but their names rhyme, so you got to think that that will be a little bit of a good premonition.
Hey, that's nice. Anyway, so we're gonna get a fighting. Those only Blade and Kazune Rush right now are. We're gonna see Kazune Rush just used already, trying to make as much space as possible. As they're gonna kind of just back up from the rush, and we still have that thing. Lamp gets fired early, and Nathan gets 1. Flawless is right now on the high ground shooting, trying to counter him as Teddy M. Have a Firecarter with 2 and EJ with 1 as kind of thing. And no, oh no, he's getting staggered. Oh no.
Yeah, they're just gonna leave him there. He's not close to anywhere where he can jump off. They can just wait on this timing, eventually going to kill him out. And that was a massive stagger on the side of the Lunar Colony Lumalees, because now Richfield Rat's gonna be down a tank for another 5 seconds. The point is already pushing forward. They already have the checkpoint going in. Massive anti.
Oh, however, it does get cleansed by Teddy M. We're also gonna see Clawless on the high ground. And we're seeing the high noon happening right now. Everyone just walking away. They don't want to be shot.
Flip-Flop's gonna get nothing off that too.
It did make a lot of space, but that's it. And we're gonna see a couple out things. Bombs going out. It might be a big one. No, it gets new one. However, Nathan does get one thing. Nathan does to flip flop, and we're gonna see kind of them got rushing in with And
Yeah.
then Firecutter slam. At the end. So we're gonna see it's close to the end of the point. Um,
Yeah, I think the
yeah,
best thing about that bomb from Firecarter specifically is it forced out a lot of utility from the supports, forced them to use their cooldowns, and allowing Nathan to really aggress on towards the point. But look at the Lumalees, so quick to really give up this fight. They realized Fedora made the swap over onto Torbjorn, flip-flop onto the Soldier as well, and now they're just taking the fight from their own positioning.
we're gonna see kind of that just Firecutter just trying to rush in, and we'll see the Nano Vasu, and Visor go in, and Wall is trying to kind of just make it thing. And we're gonna see Bomb also invested by Nord. It does get Frosty, and he slams with the mess. Nice thing. We're gonna see 3-on-2 action right now, 4-on-2 action. It's kind
It's really
of
all on EJ here. The only support left. Firecardy's out of the mech. Finally does manage to get it
Oh,
back,
Riley's good.
but they don't have the healing to really fight through
and we're
this. They're
gonna
gonna
see the
invest
bomb
the
go
bomb in.
out. It gets turret. Nathan going in with the blade. There's a counter Kitsune rush as he goes in, trying to get the last 3 people on the floor. They're trying to finish up this map. However, the Rats are not trying to let it. However, Nord does get DMAC and Teddy falls. So it's looking pretty close. We got a 3-on-3 thing, and we're seeing the rush to kind of finish off that map. Ooh.
Yeah, the coordination from the Lumalees there looking absolutely impeccable. I love how willing they were during those final fights to just step back, play back, and bide their time. Got a flawless play of the game this time, but surely this is going to be on the back of a lot of good healing and a lot of good support from the rest of his team. Some amazing damage there, and yeah, looking absolutely incredible on the side of the Lunar Cardellini Lumalees. Felt like they didn't even lose map one. They weren't even looking bad in any regard.
Yeah, and I wonder what the next map is going to be. Ooh.
Yeah, so it's going to be a choice of escort maps for the side of the Richfield Rats, and it looks like that choice is already going to be made. Shambali Monastery, actually, is the choice for the Rats. What are your thoughts on that, Muffin?
Kind of, it's a very kind of uphill battle, and if they're kind of playing more poke, trying to counter that dive type, happening by the the Lumalees, that could be a very interesting thing. Kind of just make it so it's really hard to get to them. I think it's a good map pick. Yeah.
Yeah, love that assessment. Obviously, the Rats want to sort of keep this momentum going. They're going back to the Rusty Goomba tank, so hopefully be able to hold their ground. I'd love to see the just classic, just Sig, Bastion, Torbjorn with the Kiriko Baptiste backline that the Rats have been so good at running throughout this entire series. And the Lumalees proving to be a very versatile team. They won on the dive map, and they also won it out on a map that's a bit more rush based, a bit more neutral playing field.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we're just kind of waiting to go in.
Yep, lot to think about before we go in. We got Rusty in now. They're actually going to Lumley's actually going to swap in Simply Dino for EJ to fulfill the playtime requirements. We love everybody getting their playtime.
Hell yeah,
They so desire.
I love playtime requirements.
I'm a big playtime requirement fan. If it wasn't for playtime requirements, I would not be playing.
What do you mean? You're like the goat of the COAs. What are you talking
No,
about?
nah,
Yeah.
nah. I'd never be the goat of the series. That's Riddle Dog. Riddle Dog's my goat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my,
do you
oh my.
see the
I don't
Lunar
see a lot.
Colony Lumalees opting to attack first? I think that's interesting. I feel like they really need to get a sense of what the Rats play on this map, especially because we haven't seen the Rats on Shambali, I believe. So
It's gonna be
definitely, yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how they really adapt.
We're just waiting a tiny bit, and then we're gonna slam on in. Yep.
Yep, and as we hop in, now we've got Simply Dino in. We got the Dino Frosty backline. We have the Lunar Colony Lumalees starting on attack, and I think this is just so they can really scout out what the Richfield Rats want to do. Richfield Rats are known for trying to attempt mostly similar compositions on attack and defense. Their flexibility more comes in the counter swapping department, whereas Lunar Colony Lumalees will just swap whenever needed, whenever necessary. So I think the adaptations really coming into effect on map 2 and map 3 because they're sort of figuring out the play style that Richfield Rats 2 want to play down.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see kind of the same comp exactly by kind of the Lumalees. However, Simpler Dino is on Mosi instead of EJ on kind of that Lucio. As well as we're going to see a complete difference in comp. We're seeing Rusty on the Sigma and not on kind of...
Escort the payload.
Yeah, the North Venture is very, very interesting. I mean, we haven't seen all that much Venture in competitive Aurora, but now that they are playable, I think it's a very good sort of loophole you can throw. I'm sure that Nort is fairly comfortable at least and doing a great job of marking towards this high ground, but the Lumalees have just managed to carry this point throughout the entire time without taking much of any damage, and now the Richfield Rats on the back foot.
Yeah, they just kind of walking away with it, you know? And oh no, Simply Dino is a bit caught off, however they do manage to survive. We're also gonna see kind of Rusty finally take on the point. And the rest of the team going to getting dived on. Someone needs to be A-okay, however they all kind of just camping in the thing. However, Rusty is back on point. However, a lot of space has been given out, but he does get flawless thing, and we're gonna see a lot of people getting in. Simply Dino falls, but does get the rest. However, Polycoder is not looking hot, and he gets obliterated. We're gonna also see kind of Nathan kills thing, and everyone's Frosty is quite low. Frosty goes down, and everyone else is backing the hell up. They for the Lumalees. So yeah.
Yeah, that was, in my opinion, such a good fight from the Lumalees. The way they took that, realizing that, oh, we don't have to fight anything until Rusty shows his hand, drops down on point, and then the moment that Rusty goes to contest that point, the rest of the Lumalees really lose their defensive positioning to keep their supports alive, and that's when things start to realistically fall apart.
Fedora Master get kind of run out thing, and we're gonna see the Nano Blade! Chills! Woo! Halfway Nano Blade first goes in up at the end, it gets slammed by Rusty. We're gonna see the bomb go and blew up, not one. And we're gonna see the shooter guy shoot his ultimate. Halfway dies by Rusty. We're gonna see Hidiam trying to and kind of the things focus on Fire Carter gets D-Mac, and we're gonna see chasing down Frosty and kind of Fire Carter running down. He gets we're gonna see that, yeah, they're kind of backing up.
Yeah, I think that was a very good fight on the side of the Richfield Rats. Specifically, Rusty Goomba doing such a great job of stifling any presence that Fire Carter and Nathan are having on that point. They even shut down the Nano Blade, which is massive in this fight. And now the time bank started to dwindle down. Rusty Goomba's caught Fire Carter in a place where Fire Carter definitely doesn't want to be, and an early advantage given to the Richfield Rats in this fight.
Oh, and we're all going to see them get quite low. Oh, Nord is quite low. Halfway the Suzu comes out, so he'll be A-okay. We're gonna see the excavation place thing and wall. They kind of just are backing up right now. not letting all that jazz happen, and we're gonna see 3 ults on one side, and about 2, maybe 3 coming up. How for
Over
10 with
gets
those.
fixed. Yeah, Teddy M with a
Oh,
massive
but
take
Flawless
flawless
gets
trades.
the nut haircut thing. How for those reses there to get Frosty back in.
High
Oh,
noon
and that
Deadeye.
is a good thing to get both DPS low. However, it does not get anyone. The sooner Edge comes in, and we might see a thing. However, Frosty dies before he can get the thing.
Bombs can be
Flawless also gets
invested.
killed by Fedora. However, the bomb kills Rusty, and it's not in Fedora, and on the point. This is looking a bit rough. As first point will finally be taken on overtime, so only 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and I think that was a great hold on the side of the Richfield Rats. I mean, to have it start off that bad and then be able to hold it at the final checkpoint where you have no good chokes to hold, no good places to really fight down, a fight win would instantly turn it. The fact that they had it get to overtime there feels like a fairly good premonition. Now it's an uphill battle for the side of the Lunar Colony Lumalees as
And we're
Nathan's
gonna see
Nano
the
Blade.
Nano we're getting say Nano Cowboy. However, they killed 2 for that fight. So it's still looking very good for the Rats. They are not giving up. They were like, you used ultimates? Nah. And they're going back on in, trying to defend this point. Oh man. So it's gonna look to be okay.
Yeah, it feels like the Richfield Rats are really finding their form on this high ground, forcing out basically every single ultimate on the side of the Lunar Colony Lumalees. There's just going to be a bomb coming up on deck for Fire Carter, but a lot to expend for the side of the Rats.
Oh, Flawless is low. He's won. And he dies to North.
And
then
North's
the
more than
sibling
willing to
guy
push the
gets
aggression.
And they're pushing it back as far as they can. Frosty is in a corner. Frosty goes down, and we're gonna see 50 seconds remaining on the clock. Again. Also, the ult differential.
Yeah, it's basically last fight territory. Fire Carter forced to make the swap over onto the Sigma to just try and deal. Flawless also over onto the Soldier, and hopefully a little bit more ability to mark out Nort and Fedora. But with the DPS ults, both tank ults, you can combo this Flux High Noon. You can put in the excavation as
It's gonna
well.
be a rough final fight. Oh, and Frosty's already down by a thing, and that thing. Rest might be able to head on in. However, they are unable to rest things. In the high new thing on the remainder, it is just Nathan on point right now.
And Nathan versus a 5-man army.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if he can do it. He may be
I
strong,
believe. No.
but not strong enough. Teddy M shuts that down real quick. And all
And
the Lunar
that is
Colony and
gonna be
Lumalees
a
are going to be able to
one.
get is halfway through that second point, but nothing more.
Yeah. There's also a pause heading out.
to 1. Switching sides.
Yeah, Lumalees opt to call a pause as Flawless has DC'd, I think. Yeah,
Yep.
maybe just a quick little restart of computer, you know? Got to turn
Yeah.
on the cheats. That's how it goes.
What? Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I joke, I joke.
Yeah. At Aurora, we do not accept Cheetos. Thank you.
True. True, real.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that hold on the side of the Richfield Rats looked fairly solid. I think the Lumleys really have to come up through left field to really find some counter. The good news is they now know what the Richfield Rats are trying to play and trying to accomplish on Shambali at least. So they have a good idea of what they can go in with here. I'd love to see Fire Carter to come back on this Sigma and them to play a little bit more flexibly. I'd also be interested to see if a spawn hold could come into fruition. They opted to start on attack, which means that they can really pull out whatever stops they need to on defense. Shimbali, in my opinion, a great point to spawn hold with because you can guarantee yourself 3 fights towards the point, and it's something that Richfield Rats might not be expecting as Flawless does join back into the game. It is a lot of questions and a lot to overcome for the Lunar Colony Lumalees if they want to close it out. But the Richfield Rats are also down in this series, so they got a long way to go as well.
Mm-hmm. We're going back in.
Initiating match.
Yeah,
What?
back into the fray. And it's going to be a moment before we see the compositions on either side. But I got to give props to specifically Rusty on the end of Shimbali first point. I think that he definitely was a little bit slow on contesting, but proving that why contest the first 90 meters when you can just contest the last 10 meters of Shimbali Monastery.
No one likes the first 90 meters. You see that? Because it's like pretty flat. You see that second hill, you're like, oh man, now we're cooking, you know?
Now we are cooking, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
They ignored a lot of good chokes. Like, I don't know. Very, very questionable. But we'll have to see. Small distance for the Richfield Rats to cover. Teams have definitely covered farther distances before. Fedora potentially looking for that Pharah play. I don't know how that will bode into a pocketed Ashe, but
We
I'd
got,
love to see it come into play. There's also
Well-
a few people on the Lumalees who are slow to get back from spawn.
we're also gonna
Maybe
see
make it.
Flawless on kind of the, that Ashe, and we're gonna see the Teddy Zen coming out. Ooh.
Teddy Zem just sounds good. Why
Yeah, wait.
Teddy M when you can Teddy
So
Zem?
everyone's just kind of holding high ground except Nathan, who's gonna probably try to get the point down, and we're gonna see Firecarter try to shoot out. However, there's a good rock on Flawless by Rusty. As they're gonna see kind of that high ground still being kind of regressed on.
The good thing about this hold for Lunar Colony and Lumalees, they're able to send Nathan down onto that point, put down a lot of pressure, keep Firecarter up onto the high ground, and doing a great job of marking out Fedora Master so that he basically just has to play ground bar the entire
Well, that's
time.
what Nathan does take on a full-on rock, as he still just kind of is surviving on point. As the kills are starting to happen, North goes down, Rusty goes down, Allegro goes down, Half of Fedora goes down. It's just Teddy's end.
He's going to
No,
fall as
Teddy's
well. I
got
really
it.
like that idea on the side of the Richfield Rats. Really send the fall on the flank, try to boop off Firecarter from the high ground. But it's the issue of you have so much pressure from the DPS of the Lunar Colony Lumalees that it's just so hard to overcome. Now you see Fedora making the swap over. Same with Allegro and Teddy. This is going to be a more conventional comp, more they're used to
Ooh, we
playing
got
as
the
they
double
explode onto
slam.
the high
Ooh,
ground.
we got the pick onto Flawless. And it's simply Dino. Fedora's going Cassidy. He's shooting shots. He's going in. And then we got Teddy and Punchy, Frosty getting thing, and I guess the comp switch did work. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that composition switch really forces Flawless and Nathan to really overextend into a place they really don't want to be, you know? Don't want to be staring down a Sigma or a Cassidy close range, as now Lumalee's looking for a recontest, but have a lot of
Oh,
big
and there's a
ultimates
rock on
online.
Flawless. As we're gonna see kind of Spear dancing or thing, have some also gonna happen. We're gonna say Kitsune rushing into the point. There's another rock by Rusty. As Nathan's locked up into it, he dies. However, Bob does take out North, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. We're seeing them kind of back up, get the space because Bob's there, and no one likes to talk to Bob. As we're gonna see kind of the thing, we're gonna see the high noon go out. Try to see if anyone walks in line of sight. No one did. Halfway there was a good thing. Halfway gets cleansed. Oh, there's a good flux. Halfway now gets Flawless. Nathan goes in with the blade and kills 3. Damn! And the res on Flawless is Nathan kills 4. Woo!
Yeah,
Gonna
Nathan
see-
looking extraordinary in that fight. The res from Simply Dino is going to come through, but a lot of ultimates used on the side of the Lunar Colony Lumalees. Sure, that was the second to last fight, but now they're going to have nothing for this last fight. The rush plus Blade that can be built up is massive. I'm looking towards Teddy, and I'm looking towards Nort to being the difference in this fight as Rusty makes the swap over onto the Winston, trying to put a bit more pressure down, potentially onto Nathan Flawless and Simply Dino.
Oh,
As
and we're
Nathan's
getting
actually
the
the first one to
only
get the
thing on
pick.
Teddy,
And now it's going to be
block him
basically a
off.
dry blade.
Flawless dice, Havard. Next dice, Havard, Lego kills one, and it's going to be a 3v3 on point. Could be anyone's game right now. Havard, no dice from a good rock by Firecutter as they keep on going in. Point is
Aurora
just
trying for some heroics.
Fedora's
Gets
going
into
in.
Frosty.
Fedora's going in. He got two.
Can he get more?
Back in, and Kazune Rose is happening. Havard dies by Flawless. Havard, they are still on the point.
Fedora pulling out some massive throws, giving
They're
Rusty
going
the
to
time to
retreat.
recontest here. Firecarter's now back onto the point. North's back on
Simply
Venture as
Dino
well.
goes down. Firecutter goes back in. He does take Teddy now. So it's
Frosty
just going to be
almost
Noah's
has
back
Kitsune.
on. It's just going to be Frosty on point. And it's going to be North trying his best. Havard, it's gone.
It is not enough, and the Lunar Colony Lumalees managed to pull out the map and take the 3-2-1 victory over the Richfield Rats, the Squeakquel. But overall, I think a great match. A lot of people in this map on both sides really standing up and proving their opponents wrong. Nathan with this amazing play of the game, but I think it's heroics on all fronts of the Lunar Colony Lumalees that gave them this 3-2-1 victory.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now we get to make some decisions, my dear War.
Oh, I love decision making. I love putting the team in the eyes of the casters and asking them who would be MVP.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you picking? Who are you picking?
Yeah, I've one MVP choice. I don't know about you.
I
in
didn't
my
see
opinion,
Forbes map, so
in my opinion, this is just my opinion, and I feel like this opinion is held by the rest of the chat. Frosty will be the Lunar Colony Lumalees MVP, and for good reason. 2 play of the games on Ana, nonetheless. Absolute GOAT. Coming in with the Kitsune rush in the last minutes to clutch it up.
Dang. Yeah, hell yeah, that's a good pick. I agree 100%. What a legend.
What an absolute legend. So we'll see if we can get Frosty in here in some way. Frosty, if you're hearing this. Or Lunar Colony Lumalees. Send Frosty our way. We need him. We need the man, the myth, the legend. The GOAT.
The 2600 king.
Indeed. There he is. Welcome, Frosty. Congratulations on your match MVP and the Lunar Colony Lumalees win 3-1 over the Richfield Rats, the Squeakquel. Talk to me a little bit about this map, or this match.
Yeah, I don't know. We got kind of rolled the first map, but I think a lot of that was kind of more of our comms and us just kind of like not being super, like, I don't know, on top of things or like communicating well. And then kind of after that, EJ was a big part of that too, though. EJ was like being very big on comms, getting us kind of like fight plan better. And I think that kind of like helped us going into the last match with Dino too.
Yeah, so obviously a big, not necessarily like a massive comeback, but a big flip of the script from the first map. After that first map, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of counting you out. I saw a bit of light at the end of the second point on Ilios, but it was looking very bleak. Talk to me about, I mean, you said obviously the comms, but were there any direct like counter swaps that you were trying to do against the Richfield Rats, players on their team that you're looking at targeting, or players on your team that you saw really take it up a notch?
I don't think we like necessarily had anyone on their team that we like should like single out or like try to prioritize, but we definitely like we've never practiced our like on a brig comp before, so we're kind of like, I don't know, what can we do to just keep me alive? And EJ did really well at that, and then we're kind of just hoping that our supports would actually live long enough to like set stuff up and kind of help out. And I think that shift, like, we kind of rode that for a long time, or at least the second and third maps. And then we kind of tried to ride it even more into the next one, but I think our last map, especially like right before, Nathan even told us, he's like, yeah, we kind of just need to switch. And I think making the switches is kind of like a big thing for us. We always like go into stuff with like what we want to do, and sometimes it just doesn't work, and we gotta figure it out from there.
MuffinLumps, do you have any questions?
Oh yeah. Y- Is Honor like your favorite character? What?
Yeah, I feel I just have the most time on her, so it just feels the most comfortable. I can think about other stuff instead of just like trying to hit stuff. Like we just did a VOD, I did a VOD review with Nathan, and he's like giving me all these carry tips for this and that, and I'm just like trying to like consciously do all of that, so I think I just see less. So when I play Ana, it's just more like muscle memory at that point.
Nice. You did look great on the Ana, by the way. Obviously, 2 play of the games. What was going through your mind when you, I guess, got both those play of the games, then saw those come up on the first and second map?
I was kind of laughing because I have a bit of a head cold, so if I sound weird, but I told my friend that's staying over in the cities right now, before we started, we were watching the Timberwolves game, and I'm like, well, I'm like, this is gonna be my flu game, and then I got the first play of the game, and I was just like, oh shit, it actually might be my flu game. And the second map was kind of funny too, but I feel like the first one was pretty cool. The second one was a little lame, but I'll take them regardless, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
not gonna
little bit
lie.
easier to
You
get
were
them.
looking like Michael Jordan out there on the on the in the maps.
No, no, I got the easy job, especially that second play. I just had to exist, and people were just kind of running it down. My teammates are a big, big help.
All right, Muffin, do you have
Yeah.
anything else? I got one more
Oh.
myself.
The- So, if you were like, if you wanted a pizza, what flavor would you pick? Why would it be
Mm.
pineapple?
Why would it be
True,
pineapple?
true.
This is the
I actually
most,
am not a big pineapple on pizza fan.
not a lot of people. This
I'm
league.
more like I'm more of like a plain Jane cheese pizza kind of person. That's kind of
Solid.
boring.
That's like a solid one. It's like kind of like it's good. Solid pizza.
One could
Someone
say
Nothing
would
bad
some
underrated.
about it.
one could say El Clasico.
El Casco, yes, yes, indeed, indeed.
True. Before we get to El Clasico, though, I got one more question for you. Looking forward, obviously, we're halfway through the season. How do you feel about your team as a whole? Any teams you're looking out for in the back 4 weeks? And any predictions on how you guys will finish the season?
Um, Truthfully, like we started out really, really strong, and then we kind of had a little bit of rough games. But I think like I think a lot of that is just depending on how like how we start out matches. I think when we play with energy, we like end up doing really well. And when we're not playing with energy, it's like the complete opposite. So I think like going forward, a lot of our season is going to be dependent on like how much we're communicating with each other and just like how much we want to be playing and winning. So I think it can, and I think like everyone on this team is perfectly capable of like playing super well and playing like good Overwatch. So I feel like we have a really good chance of making a decent playoff run. As for like teams that I'm worried about or look forward to, I mean, there's a lot of good teams, and we've also lost to one of them. I think is really good already. So, Saoris are always really good. Tigers are really good. And obviously, I know me and Nathan can't wait to play the Kiwis. So, always got to stick it to Mikey and PJ when we get the chance. So we got to show up for that one.
You gotta lock in. You gotta get ready to dominate. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Muffin, do you want to ask the question
Okay.
of all time?
Oh yeah. Okay. Bam. MVP taken from you. You get to pick someone yourself. Who's it gonna be now, Frosty?
Anthony Edwards for carrying the Timberwolves, but also EJ for keeping me alive on break.
There we have it. Anthony and EJ are the MVP. The MVPs chosen by the MVP this match. Thank.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes,
Well, thank you very much for your time, Frosty. Congratulations on your win over the Richfield Rats, the Squeakquel, 3-1, and hope you have a good night. Anything else you want to say to the stream before you sign out?
Not really. Thanks for having me, guys.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you next time, and me and Muffin will for sure see you all next time on Aurora Esports. Muffin, do you want to say anything before we sign out as casters?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Also, shout out Ninja Drew on Prod. He's the GOAT.
Oh yeah,
The
actually
absolute
shout out
goat.
to you too.
Yep. Anyways, we're signing out. The Lunar Colony Lumalees take it 3-1 over the Richfield Rats 2. This was the end of week 4. We're only halfway done with the regular season on Aurora Esports, but it is looking extraordinarily epic. We'll see you guys next time.